Just had an accident in my truck, if you want to know. Did I forget to bring that fucking drink up? Yeah, I think this is Walter. I'm gonna get it rid of you, Walter. It's only fucking knobheads. Are you Walter the knobhead? I don't know. Did I bring that up? I uh, I was coming back home and I took a different route, and at a blind junction I didn't stop and he didn't stop, so we ran into each other. I went through two fields, and but luckily the truck could still be moved, but the bumpers fucked up, and the left light assembly and the door. So I don't know if I can pull the door out. I'm gonna try and pull the door out, the body frame tomorrow morning with a bar. If I can't do that, I'm fucked. Like I said, my life is just fucking one continuous spiral downwards. It's fucking can't believe it. And the guy that bumped into me, he was actually got a car. He got that was a replacement car because he just had a fucking accident. So we got two people with very bad luck. I think it was a space-time continuum of bad luck. And I knew the guy. I'd seen him before. He was just in. He's a fucking gingerhead Turkish guy. Because I thought he was Irish. No, but luckily, you know, obviously it's always could be worse because it's a junction where both people have to give way. You have to slow them to give way. So if it had been a bicycle, it would have been a lot worse. What's double dollar, Tammy? What's double dollar? No, I didn't find the bike keys, and that's another problem. I need to find that because that's my only other form of transport. So I've got to go to the warehouse tomorrow morning, fucking driving without a bumper, which I don't look forward to. I just thought everything was going well. Like yesterday, finished well. I worked hard today, fucking cleaned the truck out, separating things, splitting things up. I picked up some wire, and then I just thought, I just come back, strip this wire for tomorrow, have another decent day tomorrow, and then I decide to hit a fucking car. You get a free go. That seems strange. I think no, that free go, it's all bullshit for the fucking, because they doubled the prices, but they didn't fucking increase the winnings. They're just fucking, the people in power, they're just taking the piss all the fucking time. Just for getting two numbers. Do you see that's the thing with the when they doubled the price of the fucking lotto in England, and then you got all these their only chance in life, you know, like single mums and things like that, and they just feel as though they've got to keep on fucking buying these fucking lottos. I would have liked to think how much money I fucking spent on it over the years. I'm just gonna nip downstairs. I think I've got a little box of sake. So when I saw this car to my left, I saw this light, and then it's just happened so fast. He's moving. I hit his car. I go through two fields, and the truck is bouncing up and down. He banged my stomach, and even though it probably took 3 seconds, it just seemed to last a fucking lifetime. You know, it's. But the other guy was, the chances of hitting another gaijin. He was a Turkish guy. The chances of hitting someone like that are so fucking long. And like several other, they were like housebreakers. They broke houses for living. And one guy said, so I was talking to him in Japanese, and one guy says, well, he needs drivers. They've just seen me have a fucking accident. Anyway, he gave me his business card. So and this is driving 4-ton trucks, dumper trucks. So if I were to get a job with this Turkish guy after he'd seen me have an accident, they'd be so fucking strange. Hello, Kira. I can't see who that other person is. You're Japanese. Congratulations. TJ Hooker. I never watched that I watched that TJ Hooker maybe for 10 minutes when it was on, and I just thought it was the most stupid fucking thing. You couldn't watch that fucking show. Even though William Shatner I think he's great. William Shatner is so funny. But when I saw that show, that's fucking stupid. So I was stuck in this field, and the guy from JAF, the Japanese AA, was like saying, "I've got insurance," and he's talking about a problem pulling me out of the field. So I got in the truck, started the engine, and drove it towards the field, drove it out of the field, and he's talking about charging fucking special prices. But there was a dip at the edge of the field where there was a water gully. And so anyway, after a long time waiting, we got it out. It's 100 yen. It's cheap. But I didn't know you could buy these. But I spent 10 or 15 years buying the 200 yen drinks in the glass bottle. I didn't know you had these small boxes. So the boss of this company was asking me if I could earn 20,000 yen doing my job. So maybe he just is that desperate to get drivers. But my license covers 4-ton. So what he would be doing is when they break the houses down, and then they load the wood into the fucking house, into the back of the truck, and then take it away. but it should be good pay. Should be like being like being like a driver like that should be at least 1,000 yen, maybe more. So I will. I've got his business card, and I will follow it up. Better not fucking lose it. And he's a corporation, so oh fucking hell, he's all over the place. So he's in three. This guy's this guy's Japanese was fucking. He was like fluent, really fluent. Like this Turkish guy. I think similar age to me. And his office is not too far from me either, so that's good. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. I'm just checking. Was that the last comment? Do you like Onikoroshi? Oh, that's good.
私は七尾ゴンモデルと同じ名前同じ年齢なんだけど体型は全くの真逆小さい頃から何か食べていないと気が済まない性格で気がつけばこんな体型おい横綱今日も朝稽古かちょっとは痩せろよな
Okay, I just got it up on the computer. But like in situations like this, you've got to think, well, it could have been worse. I could have fucking hit him side on. But I have found one thing out that the fucking the bag does not work in my car. So I asked the police to check the airbag. Yeah, I asked the police to check if this guy had been drinking, and they just said I just smelt at his breath. That's how they check. I just smelt at his breath. He hasn't been drinking. I'm looking at something on Yahoo now, and everyone's dying to get out of California because of the rents. People can work from home. You know, I was talking. There was someone on the feed the other day, and there was him and his brother. Well, he shared the rent with his brother, but the rent was $600, and there was two of them. But if one of them moves out, he's fucked. The other one is fucked. Have you heard of U-Haul, Robin? You know, you get all these people that, like I said, 50% still voting for this fucking idiot. But the fucking left wing, you know, the left wing or the liberals or the Democrats, you know, they've just. There's no common sense on either fucking side, is there? They drinking at home, Robbie. You're getting some wine in. It just shows you how life happens, you know. I just I missed my turn and then I took the next turn. And just by taking that turn, that's when this accident happened. And but like when many years ago, 1994, 1995, 1994, I saw my friend died in front of me. And we drove from London to Austria. And we got there, we met them in the morning. We just got through we got our ski pass, we went up the mountain, and my mate Tim phoned his mum to let us know that to let his mum know, or just to check on his mum, or let us know we'd arrived, something like that. And his mum, they weren't in. And if his mum or dad had taken that call, he'd still be alive. It, it just fucking shows you. But the biggest thing was that the Austrian ski resort, they drove up a fucking 10-ton grader while people were skiing on the fucking mountain. Yeah, I'm just gonna. It would be like the equivalent of driving a fucking dump truck or a fucking refuse truck through a fucking kindergarten's playgarden. But like I say, if the guy gives me a job, but would would you give a job to someone who you just seen crash a vehicle? And he was talking to me before, this guy. I didn't realize who he was before, or what he was. He's going, you've got to stop. But the strange thing is, when I'm driving, usually most of the time when I'm driving, I drive really slow. And I think when I get a bit of confidence, then I increase my speed. But at the moment, I just fucking... I'll just see if I wake up in the morning. I used to get that. I used to get the Sunday Times. Fuck, it's a good newspaper. It really was. I used to get the Times, the Sunday Times, and the Financial Times in my 20s. That's when I was in my 20s. Yes, it's late here, but tomorrow morning it won't be late. Yeah, thanks for wishing my luck will change, Robin, but I don't think it will. Or it'll change from bad luck to worse luck. That's the only way it's going to fucking change. But the thing is, it just changes when it looks like it's going to go right. It's just now, like today, I thought, right, it's going to be good tomorrow. I can get some good money tomorrow, and then I can fill in this fucking form for the Rakuten Bank saying I'm in this much money, then get a loan, and then this fucking happens. Well, of course, I can go back to Britain. Why would I go back to Britain? The only thing I could think of is I've worked at a Japanese place with accommodation, looking after an older person than me. Why? Where are you now, raw? Is that raw twat? I don't know, mate. Where are you now? Are you in Japan? Are you Japanese? No, sorry, pal. I don't remember the other night. And I'm not at the moment. I'm not in the best mood to remember anything. Tell you the truth. You're in Florida. I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be like in Florida over the next. In not Florida, but like for Americans going overseas. I mean, the COVID is so bad there. People don't want Americans in anyway. so, so now with all this fucking COVID, mate, I just wonder. So. Yeah, and it looks like he's continuing to fuck it up, doesn't he? There's just no stopping the fucking prick. You know, there should be something, even in the Republicans' mind, the people that vote for him. For example, the people that are religious, they've got an ulterior motive. But even so, they should see that this person, the way he talks, the way he brags off, the way he shows off his sexual fucking proclivities, he's just fucking a very, really, really bad guy. Yeah, I saw that they were saying that the the gun sales were skyrocketing. I like that Chris. Is it Chris Rock? There's two black guys always get mixed up with two black comedians, and what he said was that you know you can guns are cheap, but just make so the bullets make them like $1,000 a bullet. Yeah, they're just creating this fear. So it has increased then. Maybe that's why the price of copper is good. Go America. What is it? It's copper and brass, isn't it? Going to the bull. It's copper, brass, and lead. What about? Are they still? Is America still under? Are they closing down parts of America, like in England? Well, I talked to my niece last night, and she went. Well, from her place, it might have been about 5 miles where she went from her place to a friend's house, and they had a party. Mm. You got three friends that got COVID. Maybe while they were trying to shove dollar notes down their panties, they got COVID at a fucking strip club. Oh, dear. Just trying to think of a funny joke. It's not coming to me. The usual victim of the COVID is, elderly people. But how would you feel though if you were like, at 60 and over and not well, because people that have got like weak immune systems, and then your fucking grandson or granddaughter decides they want to visit you out of the blue, you'd be fucking writing those fuckers straight out of the will. You're right. People don't think. Well, my friend, he reminded me today. I saw him yesterday, and he reminded me about being careful about catching with COVID. And so the problem with him is that he's got emphysema. So if he were to catch it, it'd be all over. So. But I must admit, in this part of the world or in Japan, there are certain parts of Japan, there are very few cases whatsoever. And if it's sparsely populated, for example, the most dangerous place is Tokyo, Osaka. There are some cases in this area. They're not few, but it's the young people that are catching it. And then they're passing it on to other people. But the thing is here, if you've got symptoms, they don't put you into a hospital where you can share the disease. They put you into this is mild symptoms. They put you into accommodation. Like hotels, for example. Yeah, I heard something about where people were when people turned up, they were saying like "fuck off, get back," don't come here. But in England, you can't. I don't think you can do that. There's no state tags in Britain. They're just number plates, and the only thing is with number plates, it's just like there's only one distinguishing mark if it's a new car. Well, we just have to see what happens over the next month in December when they start rolling out these vaccines. So hopefully, the vaccine's going to work. In England or in Britain, what they've said, 40% of the people, they've said that they should try it out on politicians first. It's about time they earned their fucking money. Yeah, some of your comments are not showing up here. So I've got on the computer so I can change it. So your comments show up. Normally I don't see this because it's not very often where I have the computer on at the same time as I'm on my phone. So, but today I was checking on comments. So sometimes the comments don't show up for some reason. So I was checking by a different way, and like I said, so your comments with the rude words weren't showing up. So if someone was saying rude words in the past, I wouldn't know because I couldn't see them. No need to apologise, mate. I use just as bad words on when I comment. No worries at all. It's the people that don't swear and don't drink that you've got to be aware of. Definitely not religious people. Well, I've got a good friend. He's like a ninth Dan karate sensei, very rare. And we went for he treated me and two other people to a buffet, a very nice buffet. And these two people were highly educated Ugandans who believed in God. And so I explained my case to them why there is no God. And it is a simple fact that people are just brainwashed, whether they're Christians or whether they are Muslims, they're brainwashed. And some parts of this brainwashing in some religions, which includes like molesting or interfering or sexual relations with their what do you call it? This happens all over the world, not just in Africa, just in Western countries as well, where these fake people, some say it's charm, it's just that they're stupid people that will fucking fall for anything. And and this is it. They say that God made the night and he made the day, but that's just a simple fact of the fucking. That's just a simple fact of the fucking Earth going around the sun. You know, it's the simple fact is that they say the Earth was started sometime in October 6,000 years ago, when in fact people have been walking on the Earth. Man has been walking on the Earth for about 200,000 years. So it's just simple facts. But the thing is, they have faith. And because they're so fucking brainwashed, you cannot shake that faith. And when you get certain religions like the Mormons or the Tom Cruise religion, when the young kids realize it's bullshit, but the religion's head The bosses, they say, you've got to kick your son out and you cannot contact him again. What kind of fucking religion or way of life is that, where you have to fucking kick your own children out of your house? What kind of fucking... You should be supporting your children. Now I remember, I maybe 30 years ago, nearly 30 years ago, I got on a train and this big fat American woman, I sat opposite her, and she said to me, I didn't like start talking to her. She just said to me, believe in God. I said, no. She goes, well, you should. It's, but the thing is, many years ago, people like that, they usually had power education, and so they would force people without education to believe in God. They would put the fear of God into these people. You know, and this is obviously all around the world, all religions. There was something I saw recently in the Sudan, where they were trained, they had these schools, but these schools were just driving fucking Islam into these children's heads. And if a child didn't want to believe it, or he didn't want to take part, or he disputed it, they put them in fucking chains. They put the boys in chains. And beat them as well. They beat them. That is no way to treat children. And these people, they're bad. It's come time and time again in the Catholic religion. We know where they've been abusing children. I actually worked when I was about 18. I worked my partner. I worked with a Scientologist, and he was a fucking cool looking guy. He had black curly hair, swept back glasses, fucking raincoat. He was so fucking cool looking. He really was, and he was a Scientologist. And this was in Barnsley, in Yorkshire, and this guy was so cool. But he didn't manage to coerce me into believing. He never tried to, actually. So he probably didn't want anyone like me in their religion, especially looking like this. I will be your leader. Oh yes, so someone came up with the statement of the night, God is dead. Who was that who said that now? He said God is dead, and then I looked. Oh no, he wasn't. It was a fucking guy I was talking to yesterday, a Japanese guy, and he said God is dead, and apparently it was from Nietzsche. Is it Nietzsche, the German philosopher? He said it. So, was he ever alive? Yeah. I had a friend who said the same thing many years ago. He said if they didn't believe in God, then they'd probably take drugs because they're easily convinced. They're easily convinced, or they're just lonely, or whatever. But they're just weak people. It's quite funny that God never went into China. And if people start to wonder how much money, the just go to one of those sites and see how much the clothes, the candles, the fucking big staffs, they're so fucking expensive. They're really expensive. But the priests aren't paying for them. They come out of the donations from the congregation. There was a the crazy fucker in America, and he was saying even when people weren't earning money, because of the COVID. There was no work, so they didn't get a salary. But this evil cunt of a televangelical, he was saying, "You've still got to send your tithe." Because they're fucking evil. And they say maybe he's got like a fortune of 400 million, but he's still asking people, instead of offering help from his massive fortune, that he's still, I can't, I'm getting drunk now. He's still demanding that they should send their tithe. And this is not after taxes, this is before taxes, the 10%. Well, the funny thing is, that's not really funny. It's not really strange at all that they're Trump supporters, because they know they're probably safer. I would love Joe Biden to bring in a law to fucking tax these people. Not only tax them, but back tax them, and then tax them do a wealth tax. That's what I would love Joe. That's what I would want to do. They're just not strong enough. And then, like, people make university cheaper, pay off some fucking debts for students that've got it, build houses for people that can't afford to fucking rent or can't afford expensive rent. Because if people have got too much money that they don't know what to. Well, I hope I'm gonna fucking have a good 6 hours sleep, then try to sort out the fucking truck. What I'm gonna do. Lucky me. Oh, really? That's a. But this is about the homeless people. For example, like the Habitat with President Carter. No, but there are lots of homeless families in America that they just couldn't afford the rent, so they lost the house. Not all of those people are gonna fucking ruin the chances. There's just too many of them. But anyway, stop worrying about them, so. But when you look at California and all the people, you got loads and loads of streets with people living on those streets and underpasses. That is not the answer. We got some noisy cyclists. Well, of course you should do that. No, but yeah, but he needs to increase the taxes a lot. See, the worst thing about these people with all this money, they don't fucking spend it. They just put it in a bank, or they just loan it. So they don't. It doesn't go into the system. It doesn't get turned around. But if you gave, for example, in America, if you gave everybody like a load of money to the poor people, they'd just spend it. And not just on food, on lots of different things. But you just get millionaires and billionaires and they just shove it in a fucking bank account. Maybe this is why we should start killing them. And then their underlings could look after the underlings could look after the companies. I'm not even sure Donald Trump is a fucking billionaire, actually. I think he's just fucking full of shit. Well, I'm sure, but they might be single people. They might also be idiots. But I'm sure there are a lot of people on the streets that a mum and dad and 1 or 2, 3, 4 kids. They don't want to be on the streets. No, I could agree with that. Actually, if I went back to England, I don't really want to pay council tax. Because the city leaders, they're abusing that. They're paying themselves like fucking so much money. It's untrue. It should be a law that the council leaders should not be able to be paid more than the fucking prime minister. That's ridiculous. But this is what's happening in England. Right, I'm gonna get off. Thanks for chatting, mate, and I'll see you next time. You'll have to I've already fucking forgot where you're from.